So, good evening, everyone. Just recently, we were talking about how sometimes we have an image of ourselves, and then when we attach to our views, we think that this is right, then we tend to make other people wrong, isn't it? And then sometimes is it so important to be right? I'm right, other people are wrong, and there's self-righteousness, and then we got very upset when we make sure that everybody doing the right thing. If they're not doing the right thing, we got very angry and very upset about that, oh yeah, I'm wrong, and actually is it so important to be right? Actually, it's more important to be kind, isn't it, than to be right. Sometimes that doesn't, we don't agree with it, doesn't mean that we are right. We don't make other people wrong just because of disagree, isn't it? So sometimes we don't agree, we don't have we have different views and opinions, so we see things in a different perspective. But doesn't mean that the things that we disagree with doesn't mean that other people are wrong, we are right. And this is how sometimes it causes so much argument, conflict in life, and sometimes, I remember that the story that the people go to complain to the rabbi, A go to rabbi and complain about B, how this person terrible, and then the rabbi says, oh yeah, right. And then the B will complain, the second person will complain the first person, and then he says, oh yeah, right. And the other person standing there listen to him, to the rabbi, and then the third person come and complain. He said, "You are right too," and then you are right, and then this person can't talk to the rabbi. He said, "Why? 3 persons complain to you about each other. You said they are right," and then he turned around. You are right too. And this is sometimes we sometimes we argue so much, isn't it? And I remember many years ago when I still anagarikas, I after talking to my, once, normally a few months I call my family, and then after talking to my family, and then with my, and then I have some update and feedback, from my family, of one of my siblings, and then I was thinking, oh, what her behavior, what she did is not right. And then I go back, my mind non-stop, I can tell you the whole night I've been thinking about it, got very upset. But then I tend to justify that I upset because I love my sibling. I justified that. Then I was a whole night, you couldn't sleep, your mind go on and on, thinking about, how come you do that? Just shouldn't do that. And then suddenly, don't know how, to a point that suddenly I just stop, I just watch my mind that, they're going on. Then I just stop. Then I start to ask myself, actually you don't love her, isn't it? So I said, if you truly love the person, you love the person as the person is, isn't it? No matter what the person have done. Then I realized that actually I attach to my own views, my own views and opinions more than I really love that person. I'm thinking that I'm right. This is sometimes in the Noble Four Part when we talk about right view. When we talk about right view, like right understanding, right view doesn't mean that we are right, the other person is wrong. Right view is right in the context that leads us to freedom, to liberation. Even though we are doing the right thing, we're doing something that is wholesome. For example, like sometimes we don't impose ideas on others. Everybody should keep 5 precepts. If you don't keep 5 precepts, you are terrible, you are bad. No, it's okay. It's whoever is we respect. That you keep it, it's okay. Other people to keep it is their choice, but we don't judge. Said that I'm better than the other person, or I keep those who keep 8 precepts, I keep 8 precepts, I'm better than those 5 precepts. And then this is wrong view, wrong understanding. We have to come from the right understanding. We keep it is for our own well-being, being skillful. We have practice non-harming, not harming others, because all the 5 precepts is go down to one that is basically we practice non-harming through our bodily action, our speech, So we are not doing something that causes any hurt or harm to others. But then sometimes we causing so much suffering to ourselves when we hold on to our views that we are right. And yes, sometimes we may not agree with each other, but doesn't mean that the other person is wrong, isn't it? We are right. It's just that we come from different perspectives. We see things differently, We just see, because sometimes it's very easy that we judge. So we cannot judge a person, without knowing and understanding. Sometimes you don't know the background, you don't understand. Just recently someone said to me, that like the person, when the person before she had the experience, and because when she sees someone, or because of their partners, have dementia, they have to send to nursing home, then they say, how come you don't look after your partner? When you marry, you have the vow that, you have the vow that you're going to look after each other's, no matter you're healthy or you're sick, and you should look after your partners, you should look after your husband, when he's sick. So that is very easy to judge, isn't it? That until the person experiences that her own husband having dementia, it's very difficult because to look after, because you have, it's just like almost 24/7. Like at night, how many times wake up? One this, one that. You couldn't, and then 24/7, you couldn't sleep. Like nursing home, at least they have shift, if people look after. And actually, it's just that, it's not that she's not willing to look after. You just don't have the strength, unable to look after 24/7, Then, of course, then now she said, okay, last time I judge people, now I understand. That's why sometimes you're not the person. It's very easy to judge because you don't understand. We cannot until you have that. Until you have the experience. Actually, yes, it's easy to judge others, and then sometimes we tend to invalidate other people's feelings. We keep telling people you should feel this way, you shouldn't feel that way. And we invalidate other people's feelings. This is how they feel, isn't it? But we don't invalidate how they feel. You cannot force it. This should be the way you should feel this way. For example, sometimes, at times we don't feel really bright. Sometimes we're a bit grumpy, we feel so annoyed, we feel so agitated, we feel so irritated. And then very easily also we judge ourselves. We think that we shouldn't feel that way. Why can't we feel that way? No one in this world they're always bright and beautiful, isn't it? Always so happy all the time. This is impossible. So actually it's okay. So we don't judge and we don't invalidate, try to deny how we feel. Okay, so when we feel, when at time, we feel sometimes we're a bit nasty too, have the nastiness, you get upset with others, have some unwholesome thoughts. And then sometimes we feel bad and we judge ourselves. Okay, this is how we feel. This is in this moment. And actually, if you accept that, you let it be, actually it go away. But sometimes we start the story go on and on, isn't it? We judge ourselves. And sometimes we even get upset with ourselves. When we got upset, we got angry. We think that we shouldn't get angry. So when anger arises, just know that, yes, this is how I feel this way. I feel this moment I'm grumpy. This moment I have, ill will comes up, And actually the moment you recognize, you acknowledge, you accept that, okay, you forgive yourself, actually it stops very quickly. But then actually sometimes this is the add-on suffering. We go on and on and on. And also sometimes also we because of the self-righteousness, we're thinking about, the other person not doing the right thing. We go on and on. And even someone make mistakes, it's okay. We can allow people to make mistakes. Sometimes we make mistakes too. And then sometimes we go on and on because of someone's mistake. So it's like we using other people's mistakes to punish ourselves, isn't it? We keep thinking about it, got so angry and got upset about it. And then actually who is the one who suffer? We are the one who suffer, isn't it? So we are using other people's mistake to suffer ourselves. That is actually a lot of this suffering is unnecessary. We created so suffering for ourselves, Sometimes that this is that because of we because of our attachment, our strong, very strong view, what is right, what is wrong. And then sometimes it's not necessary that the other person is wrong, not necessary that you are right, And then we don't invalidate, we don't make other people wrong, And because we come from a different background, different conditioning, so what is important to you may not be important to the other person, isn't it? What it seems that important is, we just, it's not that, we just different, we just different conditioning. So we all have our own idiosyncrasy, isn't it? It's fine, But then we don't make other people wrong. I remember there was a lady. It's a true story. And then this this lady, she's always have to put her headphone on. Like she cannot live without her headphone. So she have lots of headphone. She's, on her bedside, she have sofa everywhere. Even she go to shower, also she have the waterproof one. Also she have that with her. And then one day, she's going to fetch her daughter, school, And then just she arrived at school, the daughter just straight, just over the other side. And then suddenly hey, where's my headphone? And then she was panicked. And then she ran back. Just the daughter saw the mother coming. And then why the mother turned around? And then she went back to her car. And she can't find her headphone. You know what she did? She drove away. She got and bought one. And then it's really weird, isn't it? People think that she's weird, Even the daughters think that she's weird. How come my mother is so weird? How my mother do that to me? Why she did that to me? She already here. And just across the road, and she turned back and she got, and then she was waiting there for a long time until the mom come back. And then they said, this is the problem. And then the daughter complained about the problem of the mother, why she's so weird, like she can't live without her headphone. And then I asked him, the daughter, I said, when is it started? He said, about 2 years ago, I don't remember, it's about 2 or 3 years ago. And then they said, then they asked the mother, why, when it started, it started 2 or 3 years ago. He said it started when that time after she gone through the trauma. She was in the car accident with the husband and the son. And both husband and son died. It's so difficult she cannot be quiet. She have to listen to something, then it will take her mind away. So because the moment is she quiet, and she is very difficult, she can't get over, and then this keep coming to her mind, and so much mental suffering. That's why sometimes we think people weird, isn't it? But we don't know the story behind that. And then how much suffering the person gone through that we don't know, and easy to judge terror. It's really stupid why this person, can't live without because for her, like when she's listening, with thoughts, any talks, and then listening. And when she has something, she listen. So her mind, she pay attention to that. So then keep her mind away. Because whenever she's quiet down, it's very difficult. Because she is the one who go through the trauma. Your loved one die in front of you, both son and husband. It's not easy, We ask ourselves, if I were the person, it's difficult, then you go through it's normal. There's some people come to me counseling, they have this post-traumatic syndrome, they have this post-traumatic depression and things like that. And then they start to develop like some OCD, that because they have to keep themselves, then once the emotion come up, they have to keep themselves busy so that they have something to focus. And then sometimes they feel bad about themselves, like they think that, I'm not normal, I'm having mental problem, I shouldn't have this. Then I told the people, I said, it's normal. Whoever gone through that will have. We don't judge. I said, honestly speaking, if I were you, I'd go through this, Also, I will have post-traumatic, depression, isn't it? I said, it's normal. Whoever go through that We have that, It's not that you're bad, you're abnormal, you're no good, or are having mental illness. No. I say whoever go through that, that is a result, because if anyone go through the trauma, that is normal. I say it's not that you're abnormal, How many people, the mind so strong until, unless someone enlightened, I must say, that you go through the trauma, then I can forget, I can let go. You can't, It's just being human. It's part of being human. So they say sometimes we have more compassion and kindness towards others, and because we are not them, Then sometimes it's very easy. Sometimes when we hold on to our views and opinions, we cause so much suffering to ourselves. Like me, that I hold on to that. Then I realize that actually, because I tend to justify that I'm upset because I love my family, I love my sibling, but actually it's not. Actually, to me, my view is more important than my loved one, To me, that I hold on to that. Then actually, the moment I see that, I drop. Sometimes, if not, I will go on and on. But at least I still have a little bit of wisdom, still be able to see that halfway through. I say, what's wrong with me? Then I stop and I realize that actually I'm holding on to my own views and opinions much more than others. So it's okay that other people make mistakes, especially sometimes when people make mistakes. The last thing one should do is to try to discipline. You shouldn't do that, what have you done? Actually, when someone makes mistakes, actually they already don't feel good about that, isn't it? So what people really need when someone makes mistakes, they need support. They need encouragement. This is what they need. You give them encouragement. So that's why I normally it's okay, people make mistakes. So now even my grandson, sometimes they make me say, okay, we always ask, if my son also, I ask him, what have you learned from it? So we learn and we grow. Of course, it's okay make mistake. When I was young, I used to be very argumentative. I always go opposite what my mother said. She said this, I'll do the opposite, I'm always, but of course, this is part of, this is the growing, it's a process you grow, I remember my son told my grandson, why are you running around, why don't you just sit quietly? And then my grandson turned around, in English he speak, come on, Dad, I'm just a kid. What do you expect, Come on, Dad, I'm just a kid. And then this is how we expect them to sit, quietly. It's okay, I remember once, sometimes, normally this is how we always are that, okay, we point up the mistake, okay, what you have learned. And my grandson was, okay, I'm apologize, I see my mistake, okay, move on. Don't talk about it anymore. And then sometimes the mother forget. And then she nagged again, remind him. Then he turned around, look at his mom. Mom, I already acknowledged that. I already said sorry. Please stop. And then it's good that they develop that kind of everybody, like we don't talk about it anymore. Because it's no point, any amount of regrets, it will not change your past. Isn't it? It's done. No matter how you feel, you regret that what you have done. Sometimes, to me, when I look back in my life, I never regret for whatever I have done. Even I done stupid thing. I'm very argumentative. Sometimes I do opposite what my mother told me. For me, this is part of my growing, part of the process. Because that time, this is my level of wisdom, isn't it? That much I know. I don't know better. You know what I mean? That is part of me, part of my, that is, because if I know better, I wouldn't have done it, isn't it? So I don't know better. It's part of my growing. It's just like the butterfly. The butterfly will never look back at the caterpillar in shame. We too. We shouldn't look back our past in shame. That is part of our process. It's our past. It's a part of our transformation. How we grow, how we learn to now who we are. So yes, we are stupid last time, yes, very argumentative, like my father said, I can't really talk, I can't really tell you, like, he cannot admonish me, he cannot tell me that what are the things you shouldn't do, and then you never listen, she said like that, he said like that, my father said, you never listen, to my advice, Then I turned around, I look at him, that time I was young, and I look at him, I said, since you know that I'm not going to listen, why you want to tell me? My mother said, you are really terrible, my mother said. I never come across people like, but that is very strange, like amongst all the brother and sister, I'm the one who always, always challenge my father and always talk back, but actually I'm the favorite. I'm the one that, then my mother said, you are the one, you are your dad's favorite. I think maybe because of that, I think I can just, and yeah, then, we all do stupid things in the past, so move on, that part of us, part of our growing is a growing process, the process. So we don't look at a past, in shame, oh terrible, like how the caterpillar, when they transform into beautiful butterfly, the same thing. We will transform into a beautiful person, whatever we have done in the past is fine. So any amount of regrets will not change your past. It's gonna change, isn't it? So we move on, we learn from it, then we grow, part of our process, There's sometimes and sometimes we don't see that, then and that's why sometimes it's more important that to be kind to others. It's okay. We allow other people to make mistakes, and we allow ourselves to make mistakes. It's fine, If we just forgive, forgive ourselves, forgive others. Even people being nasty to us, said nasty thing to us, we still learn to forgive. But sometimes because of our sense of self, so sometimes we concerned about, we don't, most people, we just concerned about, we don't concern about our characters, we more concerned about our reputation, who we think we are. Because our character is real you, but the reputations who the others, they think who you are. The reputation that who they think you are, and that's why you have to build up the reputation. I am, I remember when I started to practice after a while. When you started to practice, your mind become more peaceful, you have more clarity. You started to see some of your underlying tendency, some of the things, and how you react, and you see your underlying tendency, and you see your motive, what you do. Actually, your underlying motive there, that then I started to see that actually that, I realized I have that the underlying tendency that I have the image of myself, that the identity of myself, attached the identity of myself, that kind and helpful. So very kind and very helpful, then but I realized actually deep down, I just want to be like, that's why I find it very difficult to say no when someone asks me a favor, can you do this? Because I'm afraid that if I said no, the person said that, oh, you're not kind, you're not nice. So I want to be the nice person. Then even though I'd be able to see that, I find it very difficult to accept that. To accept that is, that part of me. Because I have to live up to my reputation. My reputation is kind, helpful, good person, I have to keep up, I have to maintain my reputation, the idea of who we are. And that's sometimes causes us so much suffering. Then actually, after that, until the point that I be able to acknowledge that, yes, to accept that, yes, they say we will, sometimes very difficult to be happy. Actually, it's very easy if we be able to accept where we are. It's okay. I'm still not there yet. Yes, I think it's a good intention. It's good that that doing something that is be of service, helping people. It's not that it's bad. It's a wholesome act. It's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is sometimes We rather being kind, but we attach to being kind. That is a different. Then that's why sometimes, then we so concerned with our reputation. And then that's why sometimes we create lots of suffering for ourselves, because we concern about how people think of me, how they will think of me. If I do that, they might think that, oh, I'm no good. Then go on, and then causes lots of mental suffering. But rather that we acknowledge that, yes, I'm not there yet. We are not trying to be living in denial. Yes, we accept that, we acknowledge that, we accept that. Okay, fine. This is, I'm not really as kind as I think, this is my identity view, how I build up my sense of self, and it's so fine, Then we just acknowledge that this is how we feel, it's fine, and I'm not there yet, Then to be able to see that, rather that we really happy that we be able to see that, rather, you rather to be able to see that than you can't see that, isn't it? So that sometimes it's good that sometimes be able to see your own defilements, especially your underlying tendency that you don't see, that causes you problem. Sometimes we ourselves, sometimes we don't know. Maybe sometimes our characters, our personality that causes problem to others, we don't see. I have seen people that, and this person is the one who bully everybody, but she always project onto everybody that everybody bully her. She project to others. You can't see themselves. You can only see others. Actually, it reminds me of the jokes about three women. They're reborn in hell. Not hell, in heaven. Sorry about that. They're reborn in heaven. And then St. Peter said, okay, you're reborn in heaven, so you have to practice mindfulness. You have to make sure that you don't step on the ducks. All the ducks. There's lots of ducks. And if you step on the ducks, you've been tied with the most ugly man in the world. So of course, you have to be very careful. So the first woman, very careful, very mindful, make sure that don't step on the duck. Oops, step on the ducks. Then St. Peter bring the most ugly, very ugly man, and then tie with her. And then the second lady, okay, make sure that I'm more mindful now. Make sure I don't step on the duck. If I step on the duck, and then I will be tied with the most, ugly man in the world. And then of course, no matter how mindful, the second lady, okay, oops, step on the ducks. And then this time even worse. This time is very, not even ugly, really nasty, smelly, terrible. And then the third one, my goodness, I make sure that I don't step on the duck. I'm not going to, then she try very hard, very mindful. Even she go to the toilet, she takes her so long, very mindful, make sure that she don't step on the ducks. So no matter how mindful she is, she still step on the ducks. And then this time St. Peter bring, a guy that is really handsome, very good looking. Then she was said, how come, how come that I step on the ducks, that I be tied with the very good looking handsome guy in the world. And then they said, then he asked St. Peter, why this happening? And then the St. Peter said, because he stepped on the ducks. You get the jokes, because the guy stepped on the ducks. You get it? Because the guy said, sometimes we think the other people wrong, terrible, but actually we are the one, we are worse than other people, isn't it? So it's very easy to see the mistake of others, how terrible other people, then we don't see actually we ourselves causes that problem. We have people come and complain to me that, why everybody come and disturb me, ask for advice, and I have enough. I get fed up with everybody come to me, ask for advice, and I can't stand anymore. Then I look at the person. I said, do you realize that you are the one who started off? You are the one who contribute towards that? You create that suffering yourself. Actually, this person is very helpful, very kind. It's just like last time, me like very helpful, very kind, to others. She always like, if someone little bit of cough, she'll quickly take something. Oh, take this one for your cough, is very good. And sometimes people, I have a bit headache. Oh, you get this one. Oh, people have diarrhea. So she always go around and very, very helpful and, give advice that what you should take and all this. Of course, after a while, everybody will go to her, When someone knock, oh, I'm having headache, what should I take? And then someone says, oh, I'm having diarrhea, what should I take? And then so many people go to her, she got very angry. So she got very angry and got upset that why everybody come and disturb me, why they come and ask me for advice. Then I told her, actually you are the one. You are the one who contribute to us. Sometimes we can't see that. Sometimes we always blame others, that we think that all our suffering is because of others. But sometimes we don't see. Actually, we are part of it. We contribute towards that. That's why sometimes the practice is when we practice, practice mindfulness and we meditate. Actually, then we develop more clarity. That is where the wisdom. Then we'll be able to see sometimes some of the things that in the past we are unable to see. That actually sometimes it's our own behavior causes suffering. It's not other people causes suffering. We can't see. But if we keep thinking that our suffering is come from outside, we will never resolve. But actually sometimes we're part of that. Sometimes we encourage that also, isn't it? And then we keep thinking that, oh, they are the one, they are the one who causes me so much suffering. And also very easily sometimes because of we attach to being right and then attach to our views, very easily we impose our ideas on others. Like especially with parents, and the children doesn't belong to you. They're not yours, Don't try to build a mini version of you. Like this is how all that fulfill all your deflected wish, or your whatever things that you're unable, your dreams, that you're unable to fulfill. Then you think that your children is part of you, extended. Actually, your children, you just accepted who they are, and to help them to build them a better person, build them a better person. It's not a mini version of you, It's not. It's a build them a better them. It's not the best you. Then sometimes we hold on to that. We create so much suffering, and force them. You have to become. I know someone that being forced, like she doesn't like her career at all. She retired. She was a doctor, but because of family, the mother think that this is a good profession. Be a doctor is good, but actually she didn't like it at all. But because of she been asked, forced, by the parents said this is good for you, I know better, always how the parents said, I love you, it's for your own good. But she didn't like it, and she actually the day that she retired, she was so happy. She no longer, and for her, like she forcing herself, like she really don't like the profession, but because of the parents said it's good for you. And that's why we impose our ideas and they force them to do things, that actually is just accept who they are. It's just like, children is not like you're making a cookies, cookies that, okay, sometimes a bit not nice. It's no reject stock, Oh, not so nice, reject, I want a better one. No! There's no reject stock, whatever, your children, you accept them as they are. That if you truly love them, it's not to force them to do, things that, the most important, they're happy. So they're being a good person, they're happy, because I seen a lot with my own the people that I know, like my friends that I know, that she been forced by the family, like she have to be always, because you have to be top student, then she always have to keep up her results, she have to get all good grades, And then she's been living her life like that since she was young. And then she got her master's degrees she went to UK for her to go to Cambridge universities, and then she always top grade. And then actually she's very stressful, but she's been holding that, to try to do that, to live up to the expectation of the parents that you have to be top, you have to be best. But eventually, when she at the age of, I think she's 35, I remember, that the time that she did a retreat, a Vipassana retreat, she melted down. She completely mentally, and then since then, she really quite bad. She can't work anymore. Then she have to rely on medications. She always have the panicking attack. She cannot really function normally. Like it's not even borderline functioning. Like she can't function. But because she been holding that, but how long you can hold? To the point she cannot hold. And then she just have to, and then she can only work a little bit. She can only work part-time a little bit. She can't work more than that. And then because of her anxieties and sometimes, and then she need to on medication, that if not she can't function. If with the medication she can just a little bit can function, like borderline type of function, she can function. I can see that, that's after that, and then another one of my friend, that because we are Dharma friends, she's much older than me. That time I was much younger, I was in my 30s. And she sent her son to boarding school at the age of 12 or 13 overseas. Imagine, the son is only so young, and then to a country that, that no family, no friends, boarding school, that from Malaysia they send it to the son in UK, the boarding school. And then he didn't even finish, when he's at the only early 20s. He's completely just mentally, that he's like, he just like cannot function at all. Even with the medication, it's only keep him, but he's constantly have the kind of episode, and not like, for example, when the mother asked him to clean the chair, he will clean it an hour the same chair. He go like this, and then that's why I said sometimes that people because sometimes it's more for their own ego. I want my son, to be someone. Actually, it's not really for they think that they can justify. It's for my, for their own good. Then this is good for them. Actually, they've been forcing, and then they've been suppressed for so long. So after seeing that, okay, then I told my son, it's okay, as long as you be able to be a good person, keeping the 5 precepts, I don't care your results. I said, if you're happy to being a sweeper, fine. Being a sweeper is fine. I said, if you're happy, whatever profession you're in, you're happy with your profession, it's fine to me. So of course, when he grown up, he studied arts, he studied graphic design, and then he's become a photographer. It's okay, then I know when he choose to study arts and graphic designs, and then especially studying arts, and then I remember my brother said, "Why your son study arts? How he's going to work? And when he's graduate, it'll be difficult to find job, and things like that." Then I said, this is what he want. He likes. I said, I cannot force him, But then he's okay. He's happy, as long as he's happy, because I'm not going to live for him, isn't it? He's going to live his life. They say sometimes, yes, the children doesn't belong to you, but some people that think that the children is a part of them. It's my extension, So things that I couldn't fulfill, so let my children fulfill for me, and then try to create, another mini version of you, like part of you, that actually is not, they're not yours, whatever, whether they're clever or they're stupid or whatever, You love them as they are, accept them. There's no reject stock. They're not a cookies. Cookies can reject, You can, this is not so nice, Okay, this is a bit burnt, Okay, we put it aside. You can't, isn't it? So they said this is how, because when we hold on to our ideas, we tend to impose on others. And then we create so much suffering for ourselves. And then we make other people wrong. And then actually, that's not really kind, isn't it? So is it so important to be right? Sometimes we think that we are right, we may not be right too, isn't it? And then actually, it's more important to be kind, to have the kindness and compassion, towards others, and also, most importantly, towards ourselves. Because when we judge others, also we judge ourselves. And also we create a lot of suffering for ourselves. We think that we're not good enough. And then we have to live up to our reputation. We have to be a good person, But it's okay, Sometimes if you just acknowledge that, sometimes you have any unwholesome thoughts arises, you just recognize, acknowledge, accept, forgive. It will stop. It come and go, But sometimes if you start to judge yourself thinking that I shouldn't feel this way, I should feel happy, and actually you reinforce that tendency. That is the underlying tendency. You reinforce that. Then it becomes the tendency becomes stronger and stronger. But it's okay because we are not enlightened yet, not there yet. It's fine. How we feel. It's feeling, it's just being feeling, just how we feel. But we tend to identify and judge ourselves with whatever we experience. And we also impose our ideas that we attach to how things should be, how other people should feel, how people should react, how people should behave, But sometimes also we don't really behave ourselves. We expect other people to behave, They say sometimes sometimes people ask me, oh, what can I do? I said, look inside. See yourself. See how you react. What the problem that you create for yourself. What causes you suffering? What is the problem? So of course, life is always not always, life is not always, smooth, always go your way. Having problem is not a problem at all, That's why I keep telling people, it's okay. Things, sometimes things don't happen according to your plan. Having problem is normal. So it's impossible, isn't it, that you have no problem at all, Of course, you face difficulties in life, but you cannot avoid, So when you face difficulties in life, you do your best. If you can resolve, you resolve. You can do something about it, you do something about it. You cannot do something about it, so why worry, It's okay. Sometimes I realize that in life, like some of the things I think that is so important, I have to resolve. Then sometimes you leave it alone. Actually, it's resolved by itself. Actually, you don't have to do anything. But sometimes we think that it's so important. I have to get it, I have to think, I have to solve it now. But sometimes you park it aside. Sometimes after a while, it resolved by itself. I remember my grandson. That time is only 9. I think about 9 years old. So the father said to him that, I was just, he saw his father like just keep pondering, not sure whether he's going to do something about it. So because it's like part-time, his hobby, he liked to write songs, compose songs like that. So he said, I'm not quite happy, I want to change, but I don't feel like changing it now. So then my grandson said, then you cannot decide, you just pack it aside. You just pack it aside, you leave it pack it aside. Then my son asked him, how long shall I just put it aside? So until the right time. Then my grandson answered, until the right time. Then my son said, how do I know when is the right time? Then he said, look, it's just like a deer, it's just like a hunter set up a deer trap. So how do the hunter know when is the deer being trapped? So my son said, the moment you hear the bang sound. Then That's it, he said. That's it. I was so surprised, a 9-year-old boy telling the father what is the right time, what is the right moment, That is the right moment. They said sometimes, actually, when the moment comes, sometimes naturally okay, this it, that's it. Especially when you have enough clarity. When your mind have enough clarity, you just sometimes some of the things we can't really can't resolve, and we can't make any decision. This is what I do. I just put it aside. Then I know sometimes people think that I'm crazy. Like my family think that I'm crazy. He says that, how come they think that I should worry? I should worry. If you haven't resolved your problem, then you should worry. Then I told them, if I'm going to worry about it, it's going to solve my problem, then I will worry about it. But I said, it's not going to solve my problem. So I said, I put it aside, because I can't think of, at that moment, I still haven't think of any how to resolve this problem yet. I said, so you just put it aside. Sometimes you pack it aside, so you just make your mind as peaceful as you can. You can go for a retreat, and then you come back, you resolve. Because sometimes when your mind confused, and then you cannot force yourself to make the decision when your mind is confused. So you have to wait till you settle, your mind become peaceful, you have the clarity. Then actually, naturally you know what to do. Because you'll be able to see things. You have the clarity, you see things more, you have the clarity, be able to see. It's just like when you're confused, it's just like your mind is so foggy. When it's so foggy, you can't even see. Maybe right in front of you is a cliff, But then when when you have the clarity, when this is not, when all the mist gone, when it's no more foggy, and then you'll be able to say, okay, neither I definitely can't go ahead. There's a cliff, or I should go to the right or go to the left. And this is how, okay, just calming yourself, just relax, That's why I said relax to the max. So when you relax, you naturally, your mind become peaceful and calm. You let go. When we are tense, because we're holding on. So just relax. So they say sometimes, if this is remind yourself, that what is so important. So kindness is much more important than being right. So I offer this for Dhamma reflection. May this teaching be of benefit to all of you. So any questions or comments? Any questions, comments? No questions, huh? So all happy customer. Okay, there's the questions. Okay. So how do we handle fear and worry, especially when it's deeply rooted, making it hard to step out of our comfort zones? This is not easy. And of course, because if you be able to stay with the fear is the best, that is easy, that you face it. But then I think you can use one of the skillful means to do that. Because I myself, when the first time I stay in the cave, that I have lots of fear, and my way of overcome fear is to stay with the fear. So when the fear hit to the maximum, it won't keep going up and up. It's to a certain point, when the fear hit the maximum point, it's naturally subside by itself. So when it subsides, so that is I start to learn. Then after that, I know that, okay, no big deal. Fear will subside. It will not stay there forever. But of course, if you be able to stay with the fear, you have to have enough. Your mind have to be stable enough. have to be calm enough to be able to do that. So not everybody be able to just overcome fear by just staying with fear. So one of the skillful means you can use when fear comes, because when I suggest to many people this method, and people come back to me, they give the feedback, they said that it really works for them. So that one of the skillful means that you can use, that is, you just, whenever the fear comes, so you take 3 deep breaths. Actually, this helps you, that stop your mind from, because when the fear arises that moment, the next thing you will latch into the thinking, isn't it? Thinking about the fear, and then you become more fearful, and the 3 breaths, it just helps you to stop that. And then after that, you just do the breathing exercise. You can do it anywhere, anywhere. You just breathing in fear, breathing out peace. So you make peace with the fear. You embrace the fear. It's okay to have the fear, because we have the tendency of, whenever there is unpleasant, we have the tendency of that rejection, we resentment, we don't want it. But then actually when you do this exercise, actually it's train your mind as well. Train your mind that it's okay, you can embrace that. Also give you the psychological imprint that it's okay, it's fine. That you're breathing in fear, breathing out peace, you make peace, you embrace that fear. And you just keep doing that, breathing in. If even not only fear, even anxieties, people have that, they do that. Breathing in anxieties and breathing out peace, breathing in. And then it slowly calm your mind down. Because not everybody be able to stay with fear. Because to be able to stay with fear, until the fear hit the maximum point, it will subside. But then your mind have to be peaceful enough, stable enough to do that. But not everybody they're stable enough to do that. So that's why sometimes I encourage you can do that, 3 deep breaths, and actually take your mind away, Then actually bring your mind back to present moment and connect with your body, Because the breathing is because if you're not breathing, you're already dead, isn't it? So you bring back. So that hold you back and bring you back to present moment awareness. Because it's very difficult to try to, sometimes it's quite difficult to observe, on the mental object. Because it's very subtle. Unless your mindfulness is so strong, you're so peaceful, you're so calm, you're very stable, then you'll be able to observe, seeing, how your mind latch onto that and then let it pass, just like a third party observing what's happening. You can't. Normally you get sucked in. So the best way is just do the breathing exercise, breathing in and breathing out. And I have the feedback, many people have the feedback that it really works for them. And then this is also a way to do that. Of course, if you'll be able to stay with the best things, that if you'll be able to stay with the fear, actually when it subsides, then actually you start to develop the confidence, and you know that actually for sure that it's not going to stay. And I remember when I have the first experience that when I overcome the fear, the next time when fear comes out, I just know that fear comes out. And it subsides very quickly, because I know that it won't stay. But sometimes you have fear of having fear, But this is one of the skillful means you can use. So my partner is grumpy today because he's unwell. I told him not to take it out on me. How do you not grumpy when someone else is grumpy? Like the Buddha said, someone grumpy is okay, So I still love you, darling, even though you are grumpy. It's just how I think that how I attach to my views that you shouldn't be. It's because he's just being unwell. Of course he's grumpy. You ask yourself, if you're unwell, are you say, oh, I'm so happy I'm unwell? Isn't it? No, isn't it? When you're unwell, of course it's natural. It's grumpy like kids, when they want to sleep, when they have you don't allow them to sleep. Of course, they're grumpy. You're unwell is natural. So it's just natural. So next time you become grumpy. When you're unwell, you also become grumpy. So actually, you reflect on karma. Reflect that it's just that he just being unwell. It's just part of the result. The grumpiness is just come from is a result of unwell. It's just a cause and effect. So you reflect that this is just a karma, just a cause and effect. So don't take it personally, because sometimes we tend to take things personally. So learn not to take it personally. And then, sometimes you reflect on yourself. You ask yourself, if I'm unwell, I might be grumpy too. So sometimes it's also, I did that quite often, that sometimes I always question myself, because it's very easily to judge others. But then if you ask yourself, if I were the person, if I'm unwell, I might be grumpy too, isn't it? So no one when they're unwell, they say, I'm so happy because I'm unwell. No, it's no one. It's natural. It's just a cause and effect. So it's just a karma. It's okay. So you reflect on karma. But if you get upset, then then you create a karma for yourself. You're getting angry and upset. If suffering is wanting to be happy, then should one not strive to change things they don't like? Sometimes you can change, but sometimes you may not be able to change, And yes, if you be able to do something about it, give it all you got, But sometimes lots of things that's beyond our control. So if we can't change we cannot always change everything, go our way. And sometimes we just have to learn, to be able to accept, The acceptance itself is letting go. Be able to accept that sometimes we are grumpy. You cannot help it. It's non-self. So sometimes yes, sometimes we can control. It's not everything in life that you can control. So that if you can control, that's why the Buddhist teaching of the Four Noble Truths is no longer, it's no longer the truth anymore. That's no matter how hard you try, because that's beyond our control. So sometimes, yes, we do our best, we do what we can. If we can change, we change. But we cannot change. So no point of getting upset and angry, isn't it? And then we learn, that just okay, it is what it is, Just stay. And then, because it doesn't matter whether the things that you like, whether things go your way, you're very happy. But how long it lasts? Even things go your way, even you can change to feel happy, the happiness won't stay forever. The happiness also will cease, will stop, isn't it? So then the same thing. If unpleasantness also will stop. So at the end of the day, is it any different? No different whether you are happy or you are sad, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. Anyway, it's not going to stay. So I hope this answers your questions. And any more questions or comments? No more? Any questions? Okay. Going, gone. Okay. Thank you for listening.